Trust you're well. It's an awesome, awesome day, a raining day, a wet day on this side of the world. It's 5th of July 2025, and it's such a pleasure to be here for our monthly mentorship sessions. How are you doing? How are you doing? So good to see you. Just drop a chat for me. Let me know who is in the room. Let me know if you're ready for what we're about to discuss today. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, I see your chat there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, my Thrive champions. You are welcome. Welcome to the second half of the year. Welcome to July, the beginning of the second half of the year. Can you believe it? 6 months gone already and 6 to go. It's amazing. It's amazing. We thank God for His grace and His goodness, His faithfulness that has preserved us to see yet another new month. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think that this time is actually a perfect time to take intentional steps towards your personal and professional growth, right? It's mid-year, or should I say it's the beginning of the second half. So it's a good time to reflect on what the first half has been like, especially vis-a-vis the goals that you had at the beginning of the year, what you really wanted to achieve at the beginning of the year. And of course, you are at half mark, just similar to a football match where you will have half time, right? And now during half time, you're able to recalibrate. You're able to review your strategy. You're able to look at what has happened in the first half and ask yourself, are you playing to your strength? Okay, you're able to review your play tactics. You're also able to review the play tactics of the opponent. How did they play in the first half? How are you going to position yourself to win in the second half? It also helps you to know whether you're already on track with winning in terms of whether you already have an upper hand. But guess what? I don't know how many of you watch football matches, but I get, I get it that it's not so much about where you are at half mark that determines where you're going to be at the end. We've seen how the table can turn in the last minutes to the end of the match, even though you seem to be ahead, even at half mark. Do you see? So it's about carrying through. It's about carrying through. It's about not dropping the ball at any moment. It's about not relenting at any moment. It's about, pause, but come back quickly. Okay? It's about not drawing back, not slowing down. Okay? But making sure that if you need to take pauses that allow you to be able to recalibrate, by all means do that. By all means do that. But get back on the pitch. Get back on the pitch. That's what I think the month of July signifies. Okay, so it's a time to really go back, reflect, and ask yourself what's going to be your playbook for the second half of the year. So it's a good time, for us to be having this conversation that we're having today. But let me ask you something real quick. Real quick. How many doors could possibly open for you if the right person simply knew that you existed? How many doors could possibly open? How many opportunities could you possibly attract if the right person knew you, or knew that you existed, or knew about your work, knew the brilliance that you are, the excellence that you represent? A lot of doors. Okay, that's what we're digging into today. Okay, because we need to move beyond just winking in the dark and telling ourselves, my work will speak for me. It's good to do great work, but it's also more important for your work to be seen and acknowledged by the right people who can position you for opportunities. And so the extra that needs to come on your extraordinary is how God uses people to amplify your work. And those people need to be in the know that you have such a brilliant work that needs to be showcased to the world. And that's why we're talking about how to network like a pro, because it's part of the ingredient of success, right? That you are able to leverage all the resources around you to be able to make the most of your life, to be able to achieve the goals, many of the goals that you've set out to achieve. Some of them are relatively within your control to make happen. Others have dependencies on other people to ensure that you're able to achieve them. And so networking is is a very, very important aspect of what enables us to be able to fast track our journey, accelerate our growth, get access to spaces that we may not, have had access to left to us. So, we're talking today about how to network like a pro, how to build real, meaningful connections that can help you to grow in your career, grow your business if you're a business person, and also grow your impact and your influence. Now, this is not in a cringy kind of way, right? Like the way we usually say, "Hello, Ma, I'm a young professional. Please mentor me." That's what people know as seeking our connections or seeking to network. No, not that kind of way. But for you to be able to do it in a confident, purpose driven, value adding way. Confident, purpose driven, value adding way that whoever you approach cannot resist you. Whoever you speak to can already see that you're a valuable person and somebody that they would want to relate with. There are some people in my life today that I walk up to and I have conversation with, and they are more than willing to open the door for me or give me access because of how I have learned to be able to approach people and network with people, and because I'm also very clear about who I am and the value that I bring. And so when you bring that to the table from the point where you're engaging somebody, it's very unlikely that they're going to say no to you. Because one of the reasons people also say no is because they feel like everybody really just wants to take from them. But if you approach people from a value adding, confident, purposeful way, there's a high chance that they're going to say yes to you. So we want to increase the chances of the yeses that we're going to get in the second half of the year. And I know that for most of us in career, especially for those of us that are not given to going out and networking, in social environments, social connections, or even professional networks, this would definitely be very important for you. As a business person, I see how networking has been very instrumental in getting business deals. So, as a business person, it's also a very important thing that you need to know. It's a skill, actually, that you need to learn. Nobody was born a perfect networker, right? Or an excellent networker. No, it's a skill and you can learn it. You can learn it. I wasn't also that confident in terms of networking, at the very early stage of my career, even though I could speak, I could own my own, I could have conversations, but I also was a bit timid in terms of approaching people. I overanalyze. So I will ask myself several questions before I even open my mouth to speak to the person. Say, what if they snub me? What if this? What if that? Do you see? But that doesn't concern you because you are purpose driven. You know what you want and you go for it. And whether they respond or not really doesn't take anything away from you. So the no's that you get doesn't determine the yes that you're going to get. So you keep moving. So this session is not just about putting yourself out there, like people really understand networking to be. It's not so much about just putting yourself out there. It's about building the right relationships that unlock access. It's about building the right relationships that accelerate growth. It's about building the right relationships that support your vision at the end of the day. So grab your journal, get tea or water, And then, with an open heart, let's get into this conversation. Let's have some real talk about this today. I don't know what you've heard about networking before now. I don't know what your understanding of networking is, but of course, it'd be good to share your questions for those of you that are live, and we can definitely have that conversation. So, why is networking a life skill? Because that's the way I see it. Networking is not just a buzzword. It's not just something that, oh, everybody is talking about it. And so you need to also figure out what that means for you and then also start networking. No, it's a life skill. And that's why I said it can be learned. Just the way you will learn swimming, just the way you will learn driving. That's how networking is. It's a life skill and it can be learned. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. Okay? And I think that is so profound. I think that is really very profound. So let's get this one thing straight. You were not created to do this life alone. You were not created to walk this journey alone. Even the Bible says that two are better than one, for they have a good reward for their labor. So, even in the design that God had in mind when He created us as human beings, He didn't intend for us to do life alone. And that was why when He planted Adam in the garden, He saw that the guy was alone, actually. And He realized, this is not so good. I need to find a helpmeet for him. And then Eve came. So, the idea of God is that we don't do life alone. Okay. That's why we function in networks. That's why we function in connections. So it's important for you to find the right connections, the right connection that will be useful for your advancement, for your growth in your career. So you want to advance in a line of career. Are you interacting with the people in that line of career? How many people, when you take your phone and you look at the contacts that you have, how many people are operating at the top level in that industry that you know and that know you? Now, that's something that I need to draw your attention to, because sometimes people feel like networking is about how many people they know or how many people they have their cards. No, it's not by collecting business cards. That's not what networking is about. It's about who knows you, it's about who remembers you whenever there's an opportunity that aligns with something that you are interested in. That is networking. That is networking. That's when you've been able to do a full circle about building the right network. If you have a project, for instance, today that you need help with, let's say you need a bit of funding with, how many people can you rally within your network that will see value in that project and be able to bring their weight behind that project, either by way of funding it or by way of speaking to a sponsor or somebody within their network, because they consider you such a valuable person and they see your project as something that has potential and they're willing to put their weight behind it. So, every major breakthrough that you desire, whether it is funding for your project, whether it is visibility for your career to be able to advance or maybe even find new job opportunities, or promotion in your current workplace, which is now internal visibility, or partnership, for instance, as a business person, to be able to partner with people within the organization or within the industry. All of these things are tied to relationships. All of these things are tied to relationships. So think about a major opportunity that you got recently, whatever it is, even if it's not so major. Just think about it, whatever the opportunity is. Think about it. Now ask yourself, was that opportunity from a stranger or a connection? Okay. So you see that networking is not just about sliding into people's DMs, you know, or exchanging business cards, like I said earlier on. It's about strategic alignment and authentic connection. Authentic connection. Authentic connection. The people that I call my mentors today were not necessarily people that I slid into their DM to say, please mentor me. Nope. In fact, I never asked them to mentor me. I just aligned. So they're doing something, they're having a live session on Instagram, I'm there. They're having a program, an event, I sign up for it, I pay for it. They just released a book, I buy it. Opportunity to come into their space, maybe they open up a session where people can come, I sign up and I make myself visible with my contribution. And then gradually they begin to notice, oh, this person is such a valuable person. And then they call me up for something. Abiola, there's this thing. Can you help me quickly do XYZ? I jump on it and I put my best into it. Guess what? They begin to draw you closer. When opportunities come, you're the person that comes to mind. That's how you build valuable connection. All these mentor me that people do online. That's not how you build valuable connection. And what I have found from my own experience over time, as somebody that people have also approached to mentor them, is that many times people are not willing and ready to do the work. They just want to be able to say, oh, so person is my mentor, that person is my mentor. But what is mentorship? Mentorship is a walking, talking relationship. You can't say that somebody is your mentor that you don't have a relationship with. So let's get out of this lip service that we play, because if you know someone that you don't have access to, someone that you can't engage with. Now, there's nothing wrong with having people that you admire. Do you understand? You can have people that you admire. I admire a lot of people, but I don't have opportunity to get into their space. So I'll consume their works. If they have a book, I'll buy it. If they have a show, I will watch it. Do you see? If they have an event or they're coming to an event, I'll go there and listen to them speak live. But if you don't have a walking, talking relationship with somebody, that person is not your mentor. Because your mentor is somebody that begins to shape your ideology of life, that begins to, have a level of influence on you that can mean a transference of values. Do you understand? If you are my mentee, for instance, one of the things you will find from me or find with me is that I'm somebody that is execution driven. Okay. Excellence is my watchword. Execution driven. I don't procrastinate. So if you find that you are someone that is also not driven, it means that you have not imbibed some of those values from me. And again, I mean, feel free to put it in the chat. What were the things that you saw, for instance, in me that drew you to me, that you felt like this person has got this? I think I need it. I need to, be under this person's teachings and, mentorship to help me also develop in this area. Feel free to put that in the chat. Okay, so my point is that it is that walking, talking relationship that allows you to be able to really, make the most of your relationship. And that is also what networking is about. Now, networking doesn't mean that you're just looking out for mentors. It may also mean that you're looking out for sponsors. It may also just mean that you're looking out for partners, people that can partner with you. It may also just be that you're looking out for acquaintances who can recommend you, for opportunities or give you access to things, all right, that you need, or the things that are of interest to you. Do you see what I mean? So, yeah, it's just that. So, the difference between where you are now and where you want to be can easily be just one connection away. Yeah, can easily be just one connection away. The difference between where you are and where you want to be. That's the power of strategic connection. Opportunities move through people. I tell you, opportunities move through people. People call you up, oh, there's this thing, would you like to be on it? I have already put out your name. I thought that this would be useful for you and I recommended you. That's how opportunities move through people. Jobs, new deals. I mean, I've had opportunities where people send me, what's it called? Vacancies, job opportunities. And some people just come to mind immediately and then I send it to them. If we don't have that connection, there's a high chance they won't come to mind. Do you see? So, opportunities move through people, deals speaking gigs, those kind of things are things that move through people. Partnerships. Do you see? So all those things move through people. All those things move through people. All of them. Now, networking also is not just about career advancement. For those of us that are in career, networking is not just about career advancement. It's also about building a tribe, a network that aligns with your future. And I think that's why it's important for those of you that are in the Thrive Mentorship Group to make the most of what you have there. The idea is to create a platform where people of like minds, like you, can come together and support one another. And I particularly love, what I heard some of you say to me during our last hangout, where you talked about the fact that you had formed your own subgroup within the Thrive where you hold yourself accountable and you support one another. And I think that's fantastic. That's the idea. It's not every time that you will hear from Coach B. Sometimes it is what the other person has said, peer-to-peer mentoring, that helps you to carry along or to be able to navigate a difficult moment. It's not every time you will have access to me, but you belong to a tribe where there are people that are also looking out for you. There are people that believe in where you're going and what you're trying to do, and they'll bring their support at whatever level possible. Do you see? So it's not just about career advancement, it's about building a tribe, it's about building a network that aligns with your future. And I'll give you a few biblical perspectives to this, okay? Think about the story of Jonathan and David in the Bible. Now, David's journey to the throne was accelerated because of the strategic covenant based friendship or relationship that he had with Jonathan. Go and read that stories in the book of First Samuel, chapter 18, right? You will see how Jonathan supported him, defended him, they fought different battles together. There was a time that Saul was trying to kill him and all of those things, right? But his journey ultimately to when he got to the throne couldn't have happened without the help of Jonathan. And that's because of the strategic relationship that they had, covenant based friendship, as a matter of fact. Another example is Ruth and Naomi in the Bible. Now, Ruth's access to Boaz was through a relationship with Naomi. I'm sure you know that story, right? It was Naomi that that said, who is that person, that you went to the field? And she mentioned, said, oh, I know that person is somebody that's my husband's whatever. This is what you should do. And, she gave Ruth what she needed to do. And Ruth did it. And the rest, as we say, is history. So you need to shift your mindset. What can I get to? How can I become more valuable? And who can I become valuable to? Do you understand? Because if your mindset is based on what can I get, even without you saying it, without you asking it, it will come through. Anybody that is discerning enough that you're meeting for the first time or that you've met and you're trying to build a relationship with, if they know that you are in need for what you're going to get, they can smell it. And that's why sometimes it looks like you're trying to build a connection and it looks like you're being resisted. It's because they can smell it on you that you're in need for what you will get. So the question is, you need to then position yourself and ask yourself, who can I become valuable to? How do I become this valuable person and who can I become valuable to? When you carry value, people will flood to you. Let me just tell you that. If you're the person with the solution, if you're the person that is always thinking about, creative ideas, people will rally around you. Older people, younger people alike. I'm telling you. Okay? So that is something for you to, note right there. Now, why do we avoid networking? Because I know that there are people that really avoid networking, right? For many reasons. And how do we get over it? Let's be honest. I know many people avoid networking, including maybe those of you that are even here watching me, right? Some people say things like, oh, networking makes me come off as desperate. I don't want to talk to anybody before they will think that I'm trying to get something from them. So because of that, you don't network because you feel it will make you come off as desperate. Some people tell themselves, I'm introverted. How many people have told themselves this? In fact, that's the most common that I've heard. Oh, I'm an introvert. I just like to do things in my own little corner and all that. I don't like to be all over in people's faces. I don't talk much. I just like to maintain my own steez. you know. And some people would say, oh, I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say. What do I say to people when I meet them? That's why I don't really take myself out of my comfort zone. And this has happened to me before where I will use my money and pay for a networking event, and then I will go and find somebody that I know or a familiar face, and I'll sit with that person. And that is the only person that I will engage with throughout that event. You've done yourself a disservice if you do that. And I learned to, get out of that. Now I go for events outside the country that I don't know anybody. And I'm not about to stand alone. Do you understand? So I immediately immerse myself, throw myself into the crowd and begin to meet people and get acquaintances from there. That's stepping out of your comfort zone, literally. So I know that I'm going for this event outside of the country. There's a high chance I will not know anybody or I will not see any familiar face. So you must get ready to network. That's the whole idea. Get ready to network. So it can't be about, I don't know what to say. And that's why I said networking is a skill. So you have to then practice your pitch, your intro. How do you introduce yourself? What do you say? How do you break the ice? How do you engage somebody in a way that is engaging and they can also engage back with you? What is the value that you are or that you have that you can talk about that will make people gravitate towards you? What's unique about you that you can talk about that will draw people's attention? Those are things that you definitely need to know. So don't fixate on, I don't know what to say. These are the pointers to the things that you can say. People will say something like, I feel like I have nothing to offer, you know. No, everybody has something to offer. Everybody does. Okay. And I know that some of these things may probably sound familiar. How many of it sounds familiar? Put that in the chat for me. How many of all these things that I've said sound familiar to you? You see, the truth is that people are drawn to authenticity, not perfection. Nobody is really looking for perfection. People are drawn to genuine people. People are drawn to people that are authentic. So you really just have to be yourself. The nothing to offer bit. Oh, wow, okay, interesting. But you do have something to offer. I think not, saying to ourselves that we don't have anything to offer is also a reflection of how we see ourselves. Yeah, it's a reflection of how we see ourselves. It's a reflection of our self identity. I really cannot think about myself as having nothing to offer. I will create something in my head that I can offer that will make sense to you. I will speak to, a side of me or, an aspect of my life that I think you can relate with. And we can find some sort of common ground or common interest, or something that will just resonate with you. Again, it's not about being perfect. It's not about you showing up as the perfect person. It's about you showing up as somebody who is willing to learn, willing to give, willing to be of service, willing to add value. Just be authentic. That's it. Just be authentic. Because people are drawn to people that are genuine. People are drawn to people that are authentic. All right? You don't need to be earning a lot of money to build meaningful relationship. Do you see what I mean? You just need clarity. You need confidence. You need consistency. That's what you need. Okay? And your network is not who you know, like I said. Your network is who remembers you, who knows you, who remembers you, who respects your value. I'll take that again. Your network is not who you know. It's not who you know. So don't go for events and all you're doing is collecting business cards and in your mind you think you're doing networking. No, that's how it works. Your network is not who you know. Your network is who knows you, who remembers you, who respects your value. Put that in the chat for me. Your network is who knows you, who remembers you, and who respects your value. That is your network. So get out of all those excuses that you've given yourself all these years, things that you've told yourself that have held you back from building strategic connections. Building strategic connections. What are the common mistakes that you need to avoid when you are networking? Because I think it's important for us to normalize making mistakes. Yeah? Mistakes can happen, but you will learn from them. That's the most important thing. You learn from them. We're not perfect. Remember, we're not coming out as perfect people. So mistakes can happen, but what is important is that you learn. You learn from those mistakes and you never do them again. All right? Number one, transactional mindset. Like I said, only showing up for what you need or for what you can get, or only showing up when you need something. The moment that thing has been taken care of, we don't hear from you anymore. There are some people that I know, the only time they call me is when there's something that is up. Something is up. When I see their call, I know there's something is up, because they only call, they only check in when they need something. When you are like that, when you have that sort of transactional mindset, you really can't build genuine connections. You can't build strategic connections. Don't be that kind of person. No, don't be that kind of person. Another mistake that can happen is over networking without depth. Over networking without depth. You're only collecting business cards instead of building connections with people, instead of engaging with people. Okay, that's what is called over networking, but it doesn't have depth. The people don't even remember you. Another mistake that people make is only networking upward. When you're only networking upward, you are ignoring your peers or even those behind you. Meanwhile, those behind you can also help you. Those on your level can also help you. They can also put in a word. They may also know somebody who knows somebody that could be of help to you. So when your focus is really just only networking up, that's a mistake right there. And that's why many of us have missed out, because we don't consider our peers as people that we can also network with and learn from. Another, mistake that I see is lack of follow-up. Even me, I have made this mistake, in the past. Lack of follow-up. When you lose touch after your initial connection, it doesn't solidify your connection. It doesn't bring you to memory. It doesn't make the connection you made at the beginning, even if you had a fantastic conversation from the point where you met and you seem to gel, but there is no follow-up afterwards. You lose. There's a possibility of losing that connection. Whatever can possibly come out of that connection, there's a possibility of you losing it. And another mistake I see also is not knowing your value proposition. In fact, this one is the one that I see more than often, right? Where just tied to what somebody said about the thinking that they have nothing to offer. This particular mistake comes from there, because you don't know your value proposition. You don't know what you bring to the table. You don't know that you're a valuable person and you can add value to people. So when you've not been able to articulate your value proposition, it'll be hard for you to network actually. It'll be hard for you to build strategic connections, because remember we said it's about you being able to demonstrate that you're a person of value, somebody that is worth connecting with. Do you see? It's about that. So an example, for instance, is a woman that attends a conference and of course connects with, say, about 12 people, in that conference, but follows up with none of them. Meanwhile, there's another attendee that connected deeply with just two people, follows up, collaborates with one on a project, gets invited to speak at an event with the other. It's about quality over quantity. Some people go for events, you see them hopping all around, taking pictures, selfie with everybody. Shallow connection. After you take, and women will do this a lot. Women do this a lot. We take pictures with everybody, but you don't have a connection, you don't have a relationship, you don't have anything that connects you with those people other than the pictures that you take. And that's the end. That's the end. Shallow connections. So it's not so much about being everywhere. Networking is not about being everywhere. It's about deep, meaningful connections. Deep, meaningful, strategic connections. That's what it's about. Okay? So let me show you the foundations of meaningful networking. How will you do it differently going forward, especially now that we've had this conversation? Let's talk about it like, you know, foundation, like in terms of the mindset, the habits that actually make people say, I want to know you more, I want to engage you more, I want to work with you. What is it about you that will get people to that level where they are willing to connect with you as much as you're willing to connect with them? We're going to build it like a house in terms of pillars. So I'm going to give you pillar number one: clarity. Know you, know who you are, know your value. That's the first thing. The reason you are intimidated in networking with people is because you don't know the value that you have. You don't know the value that you carry. You are intimidated because you feel there's nothing to offer. And again, it could also be that you are thinking you're networking only upward. Get comfortable networking with your peers where nobody is overly up there. And so you're comfortable to talk about, just have peer to peer exchanges. Get comfortable with that. But even in those peer to peer exchanges, know who you are, know what you bring, know what you are building so that you will know what you need. So you're not trying to connect with everybody. You're trying to connect with people that align with where you're going, that align with your vision, that align with the future that you're trying to build. So you don't need everybody. Also ask yourself, what season am I in? It's important. Am I in my growth season? And so I want to connect with people that know much more than me or that have already gone ahead of me in my industry so that I can learn from them and grow. So you seek those kind of people out, people that know more than you. And these people may not necessarily be older per se. It may just be that they've done the things that you're just now trying to do. And so you connect with those people so that you can draw lessons, learn from them, observe their journey, and get help when necessary. Let's say you're in that learning season, you connect with certain people and they begin to learn from you. There was a lady that connected with me, for instance. She wanted to um, be more consistent with creating content on LinkedIn because she sees that I'm consistent and all that. She, reached out. Oh, I admire your consistency. Interestingly, we met at an event before, but we really didn't connect. We just said hi and that was it. But then she reached out to me, and then before you know it, I began to hold her accountable. Like, how far? I loved what you sent on LinkedIn. That was really great. And then I'll go on the, what she has posted, that I will put a comment there, just nudging her, help her to build confidence. Today, she now speaks at events. She's not just only writing on LinkedIn. I've seen her in a couple of events where she's there as a panel, she's there as a keynote, and I'm like, tops up, you're doing amazing. So sometimes those are the things that you need. People that connect, that hold you up, that tell you, that remind you that you are good, you are great, you are excellent, you're amazing. So you could be in a learning phase in your life and you seek out people that help you on that learning journey. You may be in a phase in your life where it's about building visibility or it's about pivoting. You're in one industry and you're trying to pivot into another industry. Do you see? Clarity is very important because that clarity is really, first of all, what helps you to know who you are, what you bring to the table, the value that you have, and then what exactly that you need and the people that have what you need. Again, it's not about seeking to collect, it's about, okay, yes, I see this person has what I need or has advanced and has gone through the experience that I'm still trying to have. What can I possibly give in exchange? How do I add value to this person in a way that feels like mutual value exchange for this other person as well? That's how it is. Clarity. Clarity. Let's say, for instance, you're building a product based business, right? And maybe you need suppliers, people that manufacture the raw materials. You need marketers or maybe digital marketers, as it were. You need people that understand logistics in your circle, right? Those are the people you begin to look out for, not just influencers. So it's important that you know what you need. It's important that you know your value. You don't need to be the loudest voice in the room. You just need to be clear about what you bring to the table. So ask yourself, what problem do I solve? Or what problem do I feel like I'm resourced to solve? That I know enough to be able to solve? What do people always thank me for? That's a pointer to the value that you bring. So don't ever feel like you don't have anything to offer. You do. You just never paid attention to it and nurtured it and focus on it. What do you do that people thank you for? That's a pointer to the value that you bring. Okay? Let's say you're a brand designer, but your real value is that you actually help overwhelmed entrepreneurs to finally feel proud of their business visuals, the way their business is seen and, perceived out there. Do you see? So again, it's about really knowing who you are and what you offer. Pillar number 2, I spoke about it earlier, authenticity. The first one was clarity. Number 2 is authenticity. Being curious but not clingy. If you're not a genuine person, it's just a matter of time. It will be clear because you won't be consistent. You won't be consistent. In fact, you will show up with eye service many times. And those things, people smell it, people know it. They may not just tell you, but people know when you show up with eye service, when you really are not really genuine. You're not really trying to be of value to this person. You're out for what you're going to get. And it's just about you. Be yourself. Let me tell you, real recognizes real. If you are real, the people that are also real, they will recognize you. The connection will be very natural. I'm telling you, it will be like marriage made from heaven. You will just connect. I have a prayer partner. She's in Canada now. We met at an event, at somebody's event, and we got on talking. And then we just so connected that it felt like we had known each other for ages. Today, she's been my prayer partner for like more than 3 years or 4 years. The connection was just like that. Do you see? And we talk about many things going on in our life, each other, we pray with each other, and all of those kind of things. So real will recognize real. I'm telling you, be authentic. Be authentic. If you're a career person, share your career journey, share your mistakes, share what has made you better, not just only your wins. Let people be able to see you that you're also not, you're not an angel. You're a human being. You have blood flowing in your veins. So you've done some things great, but you've also made some mistakes, and it just balances it out. People see you the way you really are. Some people don't want people to know that they've made mistakes, that they just got everything right all their lives. If you're speaking to a mentor and everything they're sharing with you is everything they did right, check it very well. Check it very well. There's nobody that hasn't made mistakes. There's nobody. We're all a work in progress. A mentor must be secure enough in themselves to be able to show you, I've messed up here before, and this was how I got out of it, or I'm still dealing with it. Do you see what I mean? Or this is what not to do. I did it and this is how I got bumped. Do you see what I mean? So it's always good. Just show up as you are. Networking is not about being interesting, being the best thing since sliced bread. People want to impress people overly. That's not networking. It's all fake. So it's not about being interesting. It's about being interested, being genuine, being keen to really know more about the other person, the things that are important about the other person. Make it about the other person, not just about you. Have you ever met somebody before? You're meeting them for the first time and they just go on and on and on and they keep talking about themselves. They don't even give you a second to talk about yourself. Everything they're telling you is everything about themselves. It's all about me, 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 I. Not seeking to really get to know you or the things that are of interest to you. That's how some people come through. In their minds, they think they're networking. Show up with authenticity. Show up with authenticity. It's not about being interesting, it's about being interested. Okay? People love people that see them. Yes. How many times have you gone for an event and you met somebody and you engaged with that person and you felt like that person saw you? Like really connected with you, really, really, you know, the depth of how they saw you was profound. How did that make you feel? Okay. People feel, people connect with people. People love people who see them, not just those who want something from them. Okay. All this, that's why I say all this hi ma, mentor me things. Stop it. Rather than do that, how about you say, hello ma, I just came across your profile or I met you, something, whatever you met them, whether it was their profile you saw on LinkedIn, and you say something like, I love the article you wrote on building wealth for families and things like that. It really resonated with me. I could relate it with an experience I've had in the past, and the perspective you shared or the things that you shared in that article really shifted my perspective. I really would like to connect with you to learn more and to be able to share, um, you know, my thoughts with you as well, and also to maybe whatever it is that you're trying to do. Just make it about them. Do you see what I mean? Make it about them. So you reach out and you tell me, oh, you went through some of my articles. These were the things you learned from my article that you've started to practice, and this is how it has changed you. This is how it has shifted your mindset. When you send me that kind of message, I will respond to you. But if you send me a message of, hi, Mark, please, can you mentor me? I'm more likely going to ignore you because already you've represented to me that you're not such a valuable person. You're just out to take. Remember, even the person that said, Ma, I read your article, I did that. It's not as if the person has done anything for me. But what the person has told me is that they've taken themselves so seriously enough to have gone ahead to consume my free content, and they can find alignment between what I share and what they're looking for and how it has resonated, okay, with them. And the fact that they have done the homework of teasing out what it is that I have shared and how it has applied to their lives. So if I'm also somebody who am only out to work with people who are willing to learn and to add value to themselves, I'm more likely to lean towards that person than person who just says mentor me for what? What am I mentoring you on? you know what am I mentoring you on? So be authentic is my point. Small shift, big impact. Small shift, big impact. Number 3, value. Give value first. That's something that people don't do enough of. Give value first. Networking is not about being interesting, like I said, it's about being interested in the other person. Always make it about the other person. Ask yourself, how can I serve this person? How can I serve this person? How can I add value to this person? There was a gentleman that reached out to me, I think on Instagram. He took some of my content and he showed me how I could have repurposed that content, or how I could have created that content in a way that would appeal more to my audience. And I'm like, oh, this is so creative. And I began to give him audience, and then he began to also ask me questions about his business, what he thinks he can do better and all that. And I was more than happy to respond to him. I was more than happy to respond to him. So give value first. Give value first. Share resources. Encourage others. Offer help, even if it is small. Even if it is small. Somebody tells you, the issue I've been having is just, I don't know how to deal with myself. I procrastinate a lot. Go online and Google how to deal with procrastination, how to avoid procrastination, how to stop procrastination. Find some online resources, share with that person. That's value. Or maybe you worked with a coach that also helped you, or you read a book that helped you also when you were also procrastinating. Make a recommendation. That's how you add value. Okay, that's how you had value. I know the story of um, a young girl, a young lady actually, who really admired a CEO, but she didn't ask for mentorship. Instead, she offered to volunteer at her event. So rather than go to her to say, "Ma, I'd like you to, mentor me, this and that," no. She knew that the CEO was organizing her event, right? So what she did was she offered to volunteer at that CEO's event. Now, that act of service opened the door to more than just mentorship. It opened the door to the CEO now even investing in a side hustle. I'm telling you, the kind of access that gave her. If she had said, mentor me, that mentor would not have given her access up to the point of, come to my house. Come to my house, let's have a conversation. It got to a point where, because of that volunteering service and how valuable she was, she got access to come to the CEO's house. You know, it takes a lot for people to invite you to their homes, right? Mhm. That's what acts of service can do. It can give you access beyond what you could have imagined if you had gone with the whole "what can I take" idea. So give value first. And when I say value, it doesn't mean you're spending money. It just means that you are, demonstrating value to that person. What you have is what you can give. You don't have to go and borrow to impress anybody. Many times, those people that you're asking to network with or that you think that they are up there, they can help you. They don't need your money. They don't need your money. You just need to show that, in exchange for their time, you're also offering something valuable that makes them read your message and take time to respond, or even put you in touch with somebody that can help you, or refer you to somebody, or make a recommendation, as it were. So, volunteering, acts of service can open doors that you cannot even imagine. All right. Now, what are the practical strategies to help you network like a pro? Start from where you are. Start with what you have. What do you have? You have an existing network. Sometimes we're trying to network with people that we don't know when we have an existing network that we have not really connected with. Just take your phone, check your contact list. Who is already on your contact list that you have ignored? Many of them you've not said hi to them in over 1 year or even more. Revisit all those dormant connections on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, by email. Go and revisit them. That's where you start. Don't go chasing new connections when the ones that you've connected with, you've not even engaged them. Do you see what I mean? So start with what you already have. You already have gold on your contact list. You have no idea. You already have gold. There was a product that I was trying to launch recently. I didn't go looking for new people that I don't know. I just went into my contact list and started to go through who are the people I haven't engaged with in a long time. I began to engage with them, have conversations, check in with them. And then in the process of our reconnection and engaging and everything, I started to talk about, well, this is what I'm working on at the moment. They also talk about what they're working on. And then from there, without even asking, they begin to offer to help. They begin to offer to make a mention to somebody, to share it with their own network without asking. So just, reconnect with your existing connection. Go through your phone, go through your LinkedIn contact list and reconnect. Reach out to at least 3 people this weekend or this week with a simple, "Hey, just checking in. It's been a while. I've been reflecting on, who has added value to my journey in the last couple of years or in the last couple of months, and your name came to mind. Hope you're well. I just thought to check on you." Who will hear that and will not feel loved? Do you understand? Who will hear that and will not feel some sort of warmth inside them and, want to reciprocate that? You'll be surprised how one message can reignite a connection and land you into your next opportunity. So check in with people. Number two that you can do is what I call leverage. Leverage digital platforms wisely. Use social media strategically, use it to your advantage. Your social media is not just for vibes, it's not just for posting your selfies and things like that. They are for visibility. Be intentional about how you show up. Be intentional. People are going to recommend you for opportunities, and the people that they've recommended you to, before they speak to you, the first thing they're going to go and check is your social media. They're going to check you out. So you have to be intentional. You have to be very deliberate about what you show and how you show up and what you talk about, how you represent yourself. Very important. Show up, speak up, let people know what you are about. Share your thoughts, share your journey, share your strengths, share your wins, share your lessons. Okay? When you comment on people's posts, comment intentionally. Don't be the kind of people that are dragging people on social media. Let that not be you. Or sending abusive words or exchanging, stuff like that. Let that not be you. Leave grace everywhere you go. Sprinkle grace everywhere you go. Sprinkle your brilliance everywhere you go. Comment intentionally. Don't just like. Engage with purpose. It's all part of it. If you must send a DM with intention, not desperation. All right? Send a DM with intention, not desperation. All right? You want to be seen, for instance, as, let's say you are in the health space and you want to be seen as a thought leader in women's health. How do you position like that? Interestingly, that was what we discussed at the hangout the last time for those of you that were there. How do you position like that? How do you let people see you like that? How do people begin to perceive you as this person? You can start by sharing simple, helpful content on a weekly basis. Tag others, share your story. And as you do that, your tribe will find you. But they will only find you only if you show up. So use your social media to your advantage. If you're using LinkedIn, for instance, share thought leadership content and engage with other people's posts as well. Your thought leadership is really your thoughts. That's what it is. So you are leading a thought in a direction. You are somebody in cybersecurity. Share your thoughts about the things that are happening in the cyber world and how it impacts everyday people. Relatable content. And as you begin to show more thought or share, some lessons, some things that you're saying that is happening around you and lending your voice to that conversation, people begin to perceive you as an authority in that field. People begin to listen to you. You're the cyber girl. You're the person that has knowledge about this cyber world. They listen. Do you see? On your Instagram, use your DMs to build real relationships with fellow entrepreneurs and thought leaders. I've done events in time past that I was able to bring people to speak on those events, people that I had never met physically. But we met on that Instagram street. And I felt like we had enough connection, that I could invite them to come and speak on my platform. There were many of them that we had done things, I had spoken on their platform, they had spoken on my own platform way before we ever met physically. So you can add value to one another without necessarily meeting physically, but you can be intentional and you can have meaningful connection, meaningful engagement, even just meeting online. All right? You're in WhatsApp communities, add value. Don't keep quiet. Don't keep quiet. Add value to people. Let people know that you are there. Don't be quiet. All right? So, one thing I need you to do, one practical tip that I need you to do, send 3 value adding DMs a week. Hi, my name is Abiola. I loved your recent post on XYZ. I'm working on something similar and I would love to connect and learn more from you. Something as simple as that. Or this is what you shared that resonated with me. I've also had a similar experience and this is how I've been, whatever, whatever. It was great that you actually mentioned this and that. And I thought that was really profound. I'd like to connect and, have further engagement with you. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm acknowledging your work and I'm sharing how your work has resonated with me and how we have shared interests. That's how you build meaningful connection. Okay? Very important. Another thing you can do, number 3 thing you can do, attend events with a plan. Okay? Some of us attend events, we don't even know what we're trying to do there. Who else is attending that event? Who are you trying to meet? Whether it's a virtual or physical event, don't just go with the flow. When you attend virtual events, don't be the kind of person that will be telling you, use your video, please use your video. You people don't know that when you show up correctly with your videos, people remember you. People remember you. Some of you don't even have a display picture, even when you are not showing your video. You don't have, it's some funny something that is showing. That doesn't represent you. Your online visibility, whether you're in an online meeting or offline meeting, very important. You're showing up in a virtual connection. Show up in a room that is deep, warm lit, or at least that is people can see you with a good background. Don't show up with people seeing you on your bed in your night wear, looking all funny, wearing bonnets. I mean, show up intentionally. Show up intentionally. Okay? Identify one or two people that you would love to connect with ahead of time when you go for events. Prepare your introduction so that you don't get there and you feel like you're at a loss about how you're going to introduce yourself. Just mentally prepare your introductions. There was a time in my life that I used to write my introduction, like what I'm going to say, my signature line. I will write it down and I will practice it, many times. Eventually, when I say it, I may not say it exactly, but I will have practiced it enough that I will say all the things that are important to say. And with time, you wouldn't need to write it again because it will just come to you naturally. And then also come up with questions that you're going to ask them ahead of time so that you're not wondering, okay, so what do I say to this person? I've introduced myself with what else? you know, just come up with questions, things that you're going to check with them, things you're going to ask them. Introduce yourself with clarity and curiosity. Clarity and curiosity. And more importantly, always follow up at least 24 to 48 hours after the connection, because it is the follow up that actually make that connection last. You meet somebody, you have a conversation, and then that is it. You don't talk to them for the next 6 months. They've forgotten about you. Are you the only person that they're meeting? They've met several other people after you, so they don't even have a recollection of who you are. Do you see what I mean? Sometimes when you meet people, you have to describe yourself that, oh, I was the lady that met you at what, blah, 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 and we spoke about. So it means that the things that you spoke about must be memorable enough for the person to remember you. That, oh, yes, I remember. And that's it. So when you meet somebody, you must have meaningful conversation that make them remember you. So that when you send a message, oh, we met at so whatever, my name is blah, 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 we talked about this and that, and you mentioned this and that. You bring that into their remembrance. Okay. So you can say something like, oh, hi, my name is Abiola. It was a pleasure meeting you at the Forbes event. I really enjoyed our conversation about, the topic on women in finance. And I would really love to stay in touch. Let's connect here or over coffee sometime soon. Let me know your availability. That's it. Very simple. Short, warm, sincere. It works every time. It works every time. Number 4, be the connector. Be the connector. Introduce two people who need each other. Don't be the one that is just always trying to, get everything for yourself. Be the connector. Or you find somebody, who is doing something. You know somebody who already doing something in that area as well, has an interest in that area. You can be like, oh yeah, I know somebody that also does. I think it will be great for both of you to connect and also see possibility of collaboration. That's how you give value. Value could really just mean that you connected two people who didn't know each other before. So you're meeting this person for the first time. The person is telling you about the things that they are doing and stuff. And you're like, oh, yeah, I know somebody who is also very passionate about this same thing you're talking about. It'll be good for both of you to connect. I can make an introduction. That's you adding value right there. That's you adding value right there. It's not about spending money. It's just being able to identify the, things you can do to add value and doing them. All right. You can host a small meetup, right? You can meet over coffee, that kind of thing, right? So it's win-win. Think about win-win. Think about how you are going to add value to the other person, how the other person can perceive you as a person of value. All right. Now, there's an inner work because I understand clearly that the reason many of us don't network or we don't network successfully is because there's something that holds us back. And it's not in the external, it's not exterior, it's internal. So there's an inner work that you have to do. Now, that inner work is really about your mindset, it's about your confidence, it's about your energy, your boldness. Because you see, whether people respond to you when you reach out to them is also the kind of vibe they get from you. If you try to meet somebody and you are so withdrawn, so intimidated, so unsure of yourself, there's a high chance that the person will flow or vibe with you. They'll be more than happy to move along very quickly to the next person that is going to give them, that is going to match their energy. So sometimes it's how you show up, is the energy that you bring into the conversation. So let's pause here for a heart check. Let's be honest. Many of us don't network because we feel unworthy or we feel unsure of what we bring. And that's the conversation that we'll be having. Sometimes we don't network because deep down, you're not sure you even belong in the room. And you've been praying for that room to enter. And you get there and you shrink. You feel like, who am I to be talking to these people? I don't feel like I belong here. You feel like a fish out of water. I've come to remind you, you belong. If you don't belong there, God will not orchestrate your path to get there. You belong. I shared this. Uh, I shared this lesson with my EA, and I hope I have a permission to share. So we went together to Lagos Business School, and where I was facilitating some programs for them. And in one instance, she didn't really quite dress the part, and she couldn't get access, to the lunchroom because we had free breakfast, free lunch, right? But she couldn't get access because she didn't dress the part. And that for me that day, I told her, is a learning moment. When you go to a place that you otherwise would not have had access to, dress the part. Let people not be able to single you out that you don't belong here. No, dress the part. Mix immediately. Like everybody will see you and they'll feel like, oh, you are one of us. Dress the part. It would even help your confidence when you engage with people. Because there's nothing about you that makes you look different from them. If they're wearing suit, wear jackets, find a blazer, find something. I remember those days when I used to sell makeup products when I was in a university. I used to sell it in Covenant University because I used to attend winners that time. So when I go to church and church is done, I will go to Covenant University and go and sell to those girls. And you know what happened? Of course, I was in university at the time, but I found a way to begin to dress like the way the Covenant University girls dress. So I will dress like them and then I'll enter their hostels. For those of you that know Covenant University, you know how very strict. They don't allow visitors. They don't allow just any random person working. You must, register to visit and all those kind of protocol and everything. I will just walk into the hostel like I'm a student of Covenant. Nobody will ask me anything. I know they don't wear colored braids, so I won't go and do colored braids. I know they don't wear jeans, so I will never wear jeans. I know the way they dress, so I will dress like them. Nobody will ask me anything. I will gain access. I'll be moving from one room to the other with my makeup products. That's how I used to sell to those children or those girls. And those girls loved me so much. You know, they love me so much. They will give me money to even buy other things for them, buy underwears for them, buy perfumes, buy stuff for them. And then I'll bring it every Sunday. That's how I was selling my market to Covenant University students at the time. I knew how they dressed. I dressed like them. And what that allowed me is it gave me access. So just like you too, there's a room you're trying to access. Go and understand the protocol of that room and come correct. If you come correct, you gain access. Do you see? You gain access. So you belong there. Don't ever shrink. Your voice matters. So speak up. Speak up. I read the story of my friend Stephanie Obi. I'm sure some of you may have seen the flyer that we shared about something that we're doing together. I read her story where she shared that before she also used to hold back, she was never this person who could speak confidently, and so she was going to attend. So she spoke to somebody who was like her mentor at the time. That her mentor then invited her to Wimbies. For those of you that are in Nigeria, you know Wimbies is a women platform, women in business, in career, in public sector. They come together and they have this annual conference, right? Usually a big event in Lagos, Nigeria. And so that her mentor invited her to come for Wimbes. But what was even more important that her mentor told her to do is that when it is time for question, make sure you ask a question. So she said on that particular day with her legs wobbly, because it was something that her mentor was holding her accountable for, right? So she stood up, went to the microphone, and you have to go to the front. So you can't stand where you are and ask your question. That's how it is. So if you were really like very shy, now you have to take a step back out of a hall. Like think about Eco Hotel for those of you that know Lagos very well, right? Think about how the halls in Eco Hotel is massive halls filled to the brim with people. You now have to carry yourself from wherever you are and walk all the way to the front and go and speak to the microphone there to ask questions. I'm sure that right there you are just praying to God that let you not disgrace your ancestors, because see the very many thousands of people that are going to see your foolishness on that day, you know. But that was what her mentor told her to do. So with her legs wobbly, she just carried herself, and she said this person was just, shouting her name, carried phone, was videoing her, was taking pictures, was cheering her on. She said it was just between her and that her mentor that, hey God, that it was just between the two of them that they knew what was going on. Other people just thought, oh, he's her friend that is just whatever, hyping her. She said that day she picked up the microphone. My name is Stephanie Obi. I am so whatever. Thank you very much for what you've shared. I really, enjoyed this session. This is my question. She just, she asked a question. She said that day she broke the jinx. That day she broke the jinx. The next time she came to Wimbies, she came to Wimbies as a speaker. This was somebody that could not even speak to save her life. The next time she came to Wimbies, she was a speaker. Not even a panel, speaker. Stand on her own only, without support. Speaker. She had grown. She had developed herself. She had built that confidence. So for some of you, it's just that one thing. You just have to do it. Own your voice. Your voice matters. They didn't beat her. Whether she spoke well that day, they didn't speak well. I'm sure people don't even remember. She's the only one that still remembers this story and can tell you the way that she told it. But I'm sure a lot of people don't even remember. I'm sure when she came back as a speaker, nobody probably even connected her with that lady girl that her voice was shaking when she was asking questions. That's really just how it is. If God brings you into a room, it's because you belong there. And your voice matters. Don't shrink. Don't hold back. God didn't give you your gifts to keep them hidden. Show the brilliance that you are. Even the Bible says, do you see a man that is skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. Okay? Who are the kings in your industry that you need to stand before? The reason you're not yet standing before them is because you've been shy. You've been telling yourself you're an introvert. You've been telling your voice, I'm not so confident. I don't think I can do it. It's what you've been telling yourself that has been holding you back. Confidence comes when you start seeing yourself the way God sees you, the way you really truly are. So I want you to affirm this. Say to yourself, I am valuable. I am visible. I am worth knowing. I am valuable. I am visible. I am someone that is worth knowing. I need you to replace the thought of, oh, if I speak, they won't respond. Replace it in your mind and say, I carry value that they might need. So they need to know that I carry that value. And when they hear my voice, they will hearken to me. Replace that thought in your mind that says, I'm not ready. Replace it with, I am growing. Acknowledge the fact that you're not perfect. But again, don't focus on your imperfection. Tell yourself, I'm growing. I'm getting better. Okay? My connections will help me grow. Do you see? And that's why you must put yourself out there. Grow, you must grow. And how you grow is by doing these things. With your legs shaking, your legs wobbling, with your teeth chattering, go for it. Confidence in networking is not arrogance. Today, there's rarely anybody I can't talk to, except I don't feel like I should talk to the person because I know the value that I carry. Sometimes we don't go out, we don't show up because we're also not prepared. So do your own work. Okay? Confidence in networking is not arrogance, it's alignment with your God given identity and the message that is on the inside of you that people need to hear. Okay? Very, very important. I know of a businesswoman, very young woman actually. She was running a catering business and she was always just sharing photos behind the scene of her process and everything that she does on Instagram. And a food blogger discovered her. Okay. And they decided to reach out to her to interview her. And before you know it, just from that one interview that aired on many platforms, she began to get orders to cater for events across states. So you just have to put yourself out there and show the greatness that is inside of you. You never know who is watching. So show up. Show up. Show up like the room is full, even when if it feels empty. Show up. Give your best. Give your best. Today, I get speaking engagements from things that I talk about online because people just perceive you that from what you're sharing, it's out of the abundance of what you have that you're sharing. So it must mean that you're knowledgeable about this thing. So they reach out to you. Do you see? So show up. You know something, talk about it with confidence. You're a career professional. I know a career professional, for instance, who was constantly sharing industry tips. She was even in the energy sector. So it's not, an industry that a lot of people are familiar with, right? But she found a fun and relatable way to talk about, the issues, the things in the energy sector in a way that a layman person can relate with. She will share tips, she will share reflections on LinkedIn. Before you know it, she was invited to join a think tank for a government agency because of what she's been talking about, all the thoughts that she's been sharing, not because of her CV, because she has positioned herself as somebody that knows something about that thing. She's always showed up. She had always showed her thought leadership online. That's the reason she was considered. So the lesson here is for you to show up consistently with insight, with presence. And if you do it consistently, you will attract the right eyes. It's just a matter of time. There was also this my young mentee, because I used to have mentees from Wimby's. I'm a mentor on Wimby's platform, so they'll send mentees to me. There was this my mentee who attended a small industry event, and she actually struck up a very genuine conversation with a speaker during lunch. A month later, she was offered a contract job just because of that conversation that they had. And because she was confident enough to be able to walk up to the speaker and have that conversation. Sometimes it's not really about pitching, it's about being present, it's about owning your voice, it's about sharing your thoughts, not holding back. So at this point, I'm going to invite you to pause and reflect. And I'm going to give you a few questions to reflect on as we wrap up. Take a moment to journal your answers to the questions I'm going, about to share with you. Who are the top 3 people that you need to reconnect with this month? Top 3. Can be more, but top 3. Who are the top 3 people that I need to reconnect with this month? Number two, what platform do I need to show up on more boldly and consistently? For somebody, it can be LinkedIn. For another person, it can be Instagram. For another, it can be YouTube. For another, it can be maybe TikTok, whatever it is. But determine. For another person, it could be in blogs. I used to write for a lot of blogs. I used to write for Bella Niger. I used to write for SLA Africa, and Shilit Africa. You know, I used to write, well, I haven't written in a long time, but I used to write for Guardian Woman. What platform do you need to show up more on so that the people that need to see you can see you? Guess what? A lot of these blogs are even looking for content. So if you offer yourself to write content in something that aligns with something you're passionate and interested in, you're likely going to get a yes than a no. And that's how you begin to position yourself out there. My EA, for instance, was talking to me about her interest in product management. Which platforms will find your gifts and your knowledge about product management valuable? Can you begin to put content out there? Can you begin to even educate people? Share out of what you know and position yourself like somebody that really knows something. Okay? Ask yourself, number 3 question: how can I serve or add value this week without asking for anything in return? Yeah. How can I serve or add value this week without asking for anything in return? And then the number 4 question: what's the one bold networking move that I will make before the next Friday? What's the one bold networking move I'm going to make before next Friday? I need you to write your answers in your journal and commit to taking action. Okay? So, on that note, I'm going to leave you with any challenge that you want to pick. I'm going to give you a couple. Pick anyone and hold yourself accountable for it. Number 1, send a follow-up message to someone you admire. Number 2, share a helpful content or post on LinkedIn or Instagram. Number 3, invite a peer for maybe a virtual coffee chat or for a one-on-one physical meeting over tea or whatever. Okay. And number 4, introduce 2 people in your network who need to know each other. Pick any of this as your own personal challenge. Okay. And report yourself in the group, whichever one that you've decided to do, and tell us how it went. All right. So, on this note, I'm going to be closing this session. I don't know if we have any questions. I didn't see anyone in the chat. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask. On this note, I'm reminding you again, you're not invisible. You're just one connection away, right? You are the light of the world, a city set on a hill that cannot be hidden. So let your light shine. You don't have to chase people. You just have to show up with your light. You just have to show up with love. You have to show up with value. When the right people see it, they will remember you. So go ahead. Network like the man or the woman on a mission. Networking is not just about climbing a ladder, it's about building bridges. Okay? And build the bridge before you need it. That's wisdom. Build the bridge before you need it. The people that God has called you to serve, they need to know that you exist. And many times the doors that you're praying for is already in somebody else's hand. All right? So show up, speak up, connect deeply. Your future collaborators, your future clients, your mentors, they are waiting. They are waiting. So let's go and network like pros, like kingdom minded professionals. Let's go and network with purpose. Let's go and network with clarity. Let's go and network with boldness and confidence. This is me signing out. I hope this has been valuable for you. I need you to share in the group what you're going to do, especially on this particular one, because it's about action. It's about taking action. Everything I've shared today is about taking action. So commit to taking action. I'll see you on the inside. Bye for now.